Well, welcome to the Gallop TV Preview Show for Hollywoodbets Kenilworth. We race on Wednesday, the 1st of March. It's a new month. It's a new beginning to the month. And unbelievably, the first half of the new season is done and dusted. And we saw on Saturday at Hollywoodbets Kenilworth that they brought down the curtain on what has just been a fabulous summer season down in Cape Town over the last few months. We've been treated to some high-class action, some quality racing. And Graham, welcome. And I'm sure, just like all racing fans around the country and around the world, we were really spoiled with some very good racing, some great pools, some great initiative. All in all, it was wonderful to see, Cape Town put on a good show.
They put on a tremendous show. It was a wonderful Cape season. So well done to Greg Bortz and Justin Vermaak and the teams down there. Obviously, it was a very tough day's racing to close out the season with both captains Ransom and Charles Dickens getting beat in their respective races. Who would have ever thought that Pierre Stradom and Michael Roberts, two of our greatest champions, would team up to win a derby at 50-1?
Yeah, that was something. That was something to watch. And, yesterday, on Monday's racing at Hollywoodbets Greyville, just chatting to Michael, you couldn't take that smile off his face. And unbelievable. Well done to everybody concerned. And congratulations to all the winners during the summer season. And well done to our KZN boys who went down and really held their own in Cape Town. Race number 1, Graham, is over 1,000 meters. It's a maiden juvenile plate. There are a lot of unknowns here. Firstly, let me give you the betting. And there is some movers in this race, Graham, and one of them is a first-timer. Number 3, Future Variety, Candice Bass-Robertson's runner, proudly brought to you by Hollywoodbets, the anti-post betting market. 8-1, that has shortened into 5-2. Then we have number 6 at 5-2, 7 at 5-2, and the other horse, I'll give it a mention, at 10-1, not in single figures, is Dean Kanemaya's runner. Graham, between 6 and 7, I don't know which way you're leaning. We saw, the Kanamaya horse win over the weekend, Outlaw King, but there wasn't much that separated them. But we have to take note of the support for horse number 3, Graham, Future Variety.
Absolutely. There seems to be quite a lot of anti-post money around for number 3, Future Variety, one of 2 runners in the race from the Candice Bass-Robinson yard. Now, the jockey arrangements would suggest that number 4, Diamond Rock, was the preferred runner, but the anti-post betting market is suggesting something different. Devon Ashby's mount, number 3, Future Variety, is bred for a lot of speed, being by VAR, is the one attracting money. So we have to respect that. This is the first leg of the bipot. Of the 2 that have run before, the 2 principals, number 6, Jewel Cat, and number 7, Mojo Man, they were both raced behind Outlaw King last time on the 7th of February. Mojo Man finished marginally in front of Jewel Cat, and that was Mojo Man's first run. So with natural improvement, you would expect number 7, Mojo Man, to confirm the form with number 6, Jewel Cat, although they are stepping back from 1,200 to 1,000 meters. But I think that could further enhance number 7, Mojo Man's chances. So my very clear first choice in the race, while respecting the money for number 3, Future Variety, my very clear first choice in the race is number 7, Mojo Man. He was 3-1 earlier in the betting, so there has been a little bit of money for him as well. But there's also been 2 scratchings. Numbers 5 and 11 are out, reducing the field to 9 runners. So I'm actually happy to go with number 7, Mojo Man, as my outright selection in the first leg of the bipot.
Now, I'm just looking at the comments. I'm using the computer form as a form guide, Graham. And Candice Bass-Robinson, she's clear here. I'll give you the comments. Number 1, Hard Winter, place chance. Number 2, Future Variety, nice colt, should run well first time out. And then she says about number 4, the Mount of Domeo, will need the experience. Glenn Cotson's first time at number 8, nice sensible colt, should run well. 9, showing good work at home and needs further. And Kanemaya's horse, nice type, including exotic. So, she did say nice colt. And I think that if the guys read the comment there, it was clear that maybe the 3 is more forward at this stage against the 4. But Graham leaning towards number 7 of the raced runners ahead of number 6. And then we both have noticed the betting support, and we'll take note of number 3, Future Variety. Race number 1, the start of the bipod. Graham, are you willing to bank at the 7 in the bipod?
Yeah, look, as I've always said with the first leg of the bipod, you get that advantage of having a look at the very latest betting all the way up until race time and then watching them go to the gates. So at this stage, I'm planning on bankering number 7, Mojo Man, but we're still more than 24 hours. We're recording this show on Tuesday morning. So my thinking is that Mojo Man is a bipod banker, but as I often do, I will delay finalizing the first leg of the bipod until I've seen them go to the start.
Okay, race number 2, it's over 1,000 meters. And this is the start of the place accumulator. It's at 13:10. And see, it is the Cape C Stakes. That's what they're calling it. Well, it's basically a race where the betting is of no help to me, Graham, because number 1, Swift Action is 4-1. 2, Tuscan Gold is at 7-1. 5, Apollo Queen is at 5-1. 6 is at 33-10. 7 at 7-2. And 10 at 6-1. The one thing I want to bring to your attention, I don't know if you noticed it, Graham, for this meeting, I haven't heard anything. I see Grant van Niekerk has 6 rides, none for Andre Nel and Platinum Racing. And Andre Nel and Platinum Racing have 3 runners on the day, none Grant van Niekerk on. And I noticed it here when I saw race number 2, and so I went to the index and it confirmed what I noticed. I haven't heard anything about this partnership or anything, but Ryan Munger rides number 7, Axel, who I like.
Yeah, no, I haven't heard anything either, except to say, of course, that Grant van Niekerk rode them the Oaks winner over the weekend.
Sure.
So we'll have to follow the story and see what happens as the days go by. But yes, this is a tough race. As you said, this is the first leg of the place accumulator, 1,000 meters. The betting not much help. It's nice to see the Adam Marcus stable back to form. They won a big race with Bereave, overturning the favourite Gimme a Prince. And Jury Duty comes into this race with very good form, deserves a place at the top of the boards. But I'm a little mystified by the betting because last time out, behind What Estate, Eric Sands' runner number 2, Tuscan Gold, who is now at 7-1, was comfortably clear of Jury Duty. So if they repeat the form of their last run, number 2, Tuscan Gold, certainly looks to be good value at around 7-1. Your fancy, number 7, Axel, obvious claims. Lightly raced, good last run behind Fort Red, and will continue to improve, I think. Even though he's a 4-year-old, he may not have fully matured, and hence the fact that he's so lightly raced. So he's got to go into the reckoning, as does, as I said, Jury Duty and Palo Queen. Swift Action, always there and thereabouts. So it's a tricky start to the place accumulator. You need to include a few. My top choice would be number 2, Tuscan Gold. Then numbers 1, Swift Action, 6, Jury Duty, and 7, Axel. Include as many as you can afford in the first leg of the place accumulator.
Okay, what I'm going to do, Graham, is that you're going to choose one horse from now to race number 8, and I'm going to choose one. I'm going to jot down the numbers. I'll read it out at the end for a possible place accumulator guide. My number is number 7 here, Graham.
And mine would be number 2, Tuscan Gold.
Okay, 2 and 7, that's race number 2. We move along to the start of the Pick 6. You need to get your bets on by 13:50, 10-2. It's over 1,800 meters. And I looked at the weights here. Of course, this is an open handicap over 1,800. I looked at the weights here, Graham, and from 60 to 51.5 kgs. But this horse, number 9, Catch Us If You Can, is the runner that's being a bit costly to follow. I'll give you the betting. Number 3 at 7-2, 4 at 7-1, 5 at 5-2, 7 a 9-2 shot, and then the runner that I'm leaning towards is, the PA inclusion from my side, Graham, is Catch Us If You Can at 2-1. But she's been in these races, the last 2 runs where she's failed to deliver. I think for the top 3, she should be good enough, number 9.
Yeah, look, the average merit rating here is 60. Now, I'm not quite sure. These races up until the end of February were called special weights maidens. Now they're called open maidens, but at the end of the day, they're handicaps. And so, as you've mentioned, there's quite a spread of weights. But Catch Us If You Can is handily weighted on 53. Will carry 53.5 for the services of Richard Faree. Good form coming into the race. Obvious claims, and certainly makes plenty of appeal as a potential place accumulator banker, because you would expect her to at least, if not winning, to run into the first 3. Number 3, Red Kite. Well, she's been a maiden for a very long time. This is her 15th attempt to crack a maiden, but she's run second on 3 occasions, third on 4 occasions, and fourth on 3 occasions, and her form is good. and Patrick Crayer might still be very much on a high after helping Michael Roberts win the Derby on Saturday. Was yet again Patrick Crayer's role in that cannot be underestimated, and Michael Roberts will be the first to agree with that. So 3 Red Kite would be my second choice. I'm agreeing with you that number 9, Catch Us If You Can, is my first choice. Hang Out the Stars, improving, lightly raced. Eldo de Meyer rides for Mike Stewart. So you've got to respect that combination. So those would be the 3 principles. Fellow and Cora carries up 58.5. So it does look as if Richard Free has opted to ride number 9, Catch Us If You Can, albeit slightly overweight. So I'm going to respect Richard Free's judgment and suggest that Catch Us If You Can will finish ahead of stable companion Fellow and Cora. So you're going with number 9, Catch Us If You Can, also my first choice. So perhaps that's a place accumulator banker for us.
I'm very happy with that. 9, a PA banker. Pick 6, tread carefully here. The spread of the weights, and as Graham mentioned, it's called an open maiden, but it used to be called special weights. So let's go on to race number 4. It's over 1,600 meters, and here is an open maiden, and this is the start of Jackpot 1. There is some anti-post betting support for number 1, Inside Story, thanks to Hollywoodbets for providing us this anti-post market movers. 9-2 into 7-2. Number 2, Green Falcon, is at 11-2. Then we move along to number 3, which is 6-1. And then number 6 is the 3-1 shot that is topping the boards. And number 9 is 8-1. Is the right horse on top? A weak favorite at 3-1, number 6, Marshall and Cornet offer here in race number 4, Graham.
I think it's very competitive, as the betting suggests. There's no clear-cut favourite. Prometheus is top of the boards, but he's quite easy to back. I think Brett Crawford does hold 2 very strong cards in the form of number 1, Inside Story, and the filly number 3, Illa de Maurizia. Touching on Inside Story first, was well beaten by Prometheus when they raced behind Rosh Kadesh last time out, but Inside Story is significantly better off at the weights in this open maiden, so that should bring them very close together. Illa de Maurizia, Silvano filly, improving with every run. Back in December, she ran second over this course and distance behind Sarki. We saw Sarki come out and win the Cape Oaks, so I have very healthy respect for number 3, Illa de Maurizia, who looks good value at the current odds. And then the improver might well be number 9, Kelp Forest. The son of Flower Alley's had 2 starts over 1,200 meters, now steps up to 1,600 meters. He should know what it's all about. He does have 61 to carry. Keegan DeMello is a significant jockey booking, so he might have a bit to do at the weights, but watch for improvement from number 9, Kelp Forest. My each-way choice would be number 3, Illa de Maurizia, but I think you need to include all of numbers 1, 3, and 6.
1, 3, and 6 for Graham, and we'll talk about our PA numbers just now, because I just want to pick his brain on this horse, number 8, Twice Told. We know that Twice Over was well represented over the weekend in the Splash Out Cape Derby. If this horse enjoys the extra distance with the booking of Grant van Niekerk, this is my joker of the pack, Graham. I like this horse as a roughie for the pick 6 and the jackpot. Number 8.
Yeah, well, he's stable companion to number 9, Kelp Forest. So Adam Marcus has got 2 runners in the race, as you correctly point out, that have just had the 2 starts over 1,200. Either could improve sufficiently to be a factor here. Not sure which is the stable elect, to be honest with you, but there's always been a lot of talk about Kelp Forest. So I've got my beady eye on him. Whether they'll need one more run to bring them to peak fitness, I don't know. But yes, you're not wrong. Number 8, Twice Told, could be a factor. Both of Adam Marcus's runners could be a factor. We'll have to see how they go. But they've both got 61, which doesn't help their chances, conceding weight to a lot of horses here.
Place accumulator. Okay, you go first this time, Graham. Which is your number?
Number 3, Illa de Maurizia.
Okay, 3 for Graham. I'm going to roll the dice here. It's 106, and as I spin the wheel, it tells me it's number 1. So we are going with 1 and 3 there in race number 4. In
the 2
PA.
Crawford runners.
That's it, Graham. Race number 5 over 1,600 meters, and this is the Cape Stakes. It's a fillies and mares. And this race, now, let's look at the betting. Maybe this could be a guide. Is it a guide? Number 3, Raising Quinn, 28-10. Number 5, Cruising California. I've jotted this one down as my roughie. Didn't take down the price though. 6, Amvoti is at 3-1. 7, Black Path at 4-1. 6, Destined to Dance at 7-1. And then 3-1, horse number 9. It's a small field, but highly competitive here, Graham. I like a horse here called Cruising California, who has dropped down in the ratings. And if anywhere near ready, coming off this 2.5-month layoff, I think the type of horse that could upset in this type of field.
Interesting selection, Cruising California. Back in December, finished marginally ahead of Raising Quinn when racing behind Desert Rose. What is interesting for me is that Computer Form tipster Brendan Gayard has made Raising Quinn the best bet on the card. Now, she is top of the boards at 28-10, and because he made her the best bet on the card, I kind of turned this form inside out, and I can't see it. I'm not saying she's not going to win. I just can't be as confident about her winning chances as Brendan is, but clearly she is one for the short list. I like Cruising California as well, but Destined to Dance, Philosophize, it's not a nice race. It's not a race that I trust. My first choice would be number 3, Raising Quinn, ahead of number 9, Philosophize. I think that should go well. With Cruising California and Mvoti, my next 2 choices. But it's not an easy race. It's a trappy little contest. But I'm going to row in with Brendan because he may know something I don't in making Raising Quinn the best bet on the card. So in an open race where there's no clear-cut first choice, I will go marginally with number 3, Raising Quinn. But there are certainly others to like here.
How many horses for you in the place accumulator if you were playing it alone before you give me your one horse?
I would at least put my top 3 in, which would be numbers 3, 9, and 5.
3, 9, and 5. That's what Graham says would be his numbers. But we are giving one each here. So, Graham, which horse are you going with?
Number 3, Raising Quinn.
Raising Quinn for Graham. And although I said I like number 5, Raising California, that's my roughie for quartets and trifectas. I think for the place accumulator, I'm going to side with Richard Freeze Mount here, number 6, Amvoti. So we're going 3 and 6 there in that leg as I jot that down there for race number 5. Race number 6, there is a scratching at the time of recording. Number 1, Winter Pearl is out. It's over 1,400 meters. And they're calling this the Class 4, which is a C Division class. And here too, I just had a look at the weights, Graham, and I'm not fazed that a horse is carrying a big weight of 61 kgs, because I'll tell you why. If you look at number 3, which is carrying 56, 552, and 754 and a half, between the balance of the runners, there's really not much between them. Numbers 4, 6, 9, and 10. In fact, number 8 is also carrying 61 kgs. So this horse carrying the 61 kgs called Pineapple Express. From the Vaughan Marshall yard on that last start behind Solar Power. I wouldn't be fazed with that 61 kgs that the individual is carrying, and even Charlie Croker. Now, Charlie Croker is at 5-2. Number 4, Key Shiraz is at 8-1. 6, Gimme More Time is at 4-1. 4, Pineapple Express is at 9-2. Karaoke number 9 is at 33-10, and 10 Silent Trigger is at 8-1. Here I'm going to be short and sweet, Graham, because this horse, Charlie Croker, who took 11 starts to crack the maiden, possibly put in the performance of his career post-maiden, and that was on the World Sports Betting Met Day at a big price. He was flying at the debt, and I like him as a banker in all bets here, Graham. I'm going to be bold with this horse. This is my play. Race 6, number 2, Charlie Croker.
No doubt Charlie Croker is one of the key runners on the card because he's lots to like about his post-maiden run. And even though he took a long time to win a maiden, and he did, he never ever ran a bad race, and he came up against some pretty useful sorts on his way to winning his maiden. So he doesn't know what it is to fluff his lines. He's well drawn in gate number 2, effectively gate 1 with the scratching of Winter Pearl. Elder de Mayo for Candice Bass-Robinson. So, yeah, clearly number 2, Charlie Croker, one of the key horses on the card, and definitely one to beat. But you've also got to give a chance to the fellow joint top weight, number 8, Pineapple Express. That's got very good form. Penultimate start, 4th behind Quasi for sure, although receiving quite a lot of weight from Quasi for sure. That was a good effort. And I'm expecting both of Vaughan Marshall's runners for Mr. Van der Merwe to run well. on Wednesday, and that would be Pineapple Express in the 6th race, and then later on would be Double Dream in the last race. But definitely Charlie Croker, the first choice. My second choice would be Pineapple Express. The mystery horse in the race is number 9, Kariaku. Was given a peach of a ride by Christoph Sumion when winning his maiden. First up as a gelding, so he's unbeaten as a gelding. He steps up in trip to 1,400 meters. How much further improvement he's got to make is difficult to know, but he ran second to Wyag. That's a multiple winner. And, he ran close up behind Ensuing, and so did Charlie Croker, so there's not much to choose between them. So Kariaku could have any amount of improvement. So for me, it's all about numbers 2, Charlie Croker, 8, Pineapple Express, and 9, Kariaku.
2, 8, and 9 for Graham. Charlie Croker going to be my choice. That's my PA number here, Graham. Race 6, number 2. Your number?
Well, just to give us some backup, I'll go with number 8, Pineapple Express.
2 and 8 in race number 6. We've got 2 more legs to go. Next up will be the Newland Stakes over 1,400 meters. The Newland Stakes. Wow, wasn't that a buzz over the last month or so with the T20 Women's World Cup taking place down in Cape Town, and Newlands came alive on Sunday. And I mentioned it the other day when I worked, that those girls, they made us so proud, our South African girls, for reaching the final. It was not to be, but just getting to the final, playing against the number 1 ranked T20 team in the world when it comes to the women. They did us proud, Graham. They really did us proud, our girls.
Yeah, they did. They did. Just fell at the final hurdle. I must be honest, I'm not much interested in ladies cricket, and I was busy with a sale, so I couldn't actually watch it. But I had Andrew Miller on the rostrum next to me, and as you know, he's very much into his cricket. Yes. He's the father of a celebrated cricketer, yes. And he was keeping us up to date with exactly what was going on at Newlands.
Yeah, keep an eye on this name, Wolfart. She is a batsman of note. Okay, she plays for South Africa, by the way.
How can she be a batsman?
A batswoman. Graham, I'm getting it wrong. I'm listening to you now. A batswoman of note. Newlands, 1,400 meters. Let's see what's going on with the betting here. We got King Regent at 15 to 10. Number 2 is a 10 to 1 shot. 3 I see is at 9 to 2, 4 at 9 to 2, 5 at 11 to 2, 7 at 5 to 1, and 10 to 1 in better the balance. Graham, I'm going to spend some time on this horse called King Regent because I don't know what's the mood in the Glenn Cotson camp after the weekend's result of the Derby, because this horse was one of the nominations in the Derby, and at final declarations he was taken out. But it's clear to see that he ran close up behind without question. His last start behind Royal Aussie, he had the winner of the Splash Out Cape Derby. See it again behind him on his pedigree related to Crimson King, who won a Group 3, I think, over 2,400 meters. He was destined to enjoy the extra. And I see now they're dropping him in distance, Graham. What's happening here?
Yeah, that's. I'm not sure if they're just ticking him over, pending another engagement somewhere along the way. When he ran behind Royal Aussie in the Gold Rush, he was solidly back from long odds into favoritism, and he finished ahead of See It Again, who came out to win the Derby. Both he and See It Again were running on very strongly in the Gold Rush. Now, King Regent is a bit of a slow starter. He does tend to get lost in his races early. I'm not sure that the step back to 1,400 meters is necessarily in his favor. I might be wrong, but I would not be rushing to grab 15 to 10, particularly as he's got 60 to carry. There's quite a wide weight spread in this race. It makes for a very interesting contest, and the weight structure throws it wide open. And we saw in the Jetmaster Stakes on Saturday, both Kwazi for Sure and Pakaya had just 51 kilograms in their back. So, even though they weren't the best weighted, sometimes when you're receiving chunks of weight all round, it does help your cause. So while I respect King Regent, I'm not in his camp. I'm very much in the camp of number 3, Ketchakal. They raced against each other before, and at these weights, Ketchakal will go very close to beating King Regent. I'm not saying that King Regent is without a chance. Of course, he's got a chance. He's a top horse in the making. But Ketchakal, for me, has got his measure at the weights. And if you like Ketchakal, there's not much to choose between Ketchakal and Dance Variety, who's at 10 to 1 and looks good value at those odds. They did race over 1,200 metres behind USA's Hope last time out. They do go the extra 200 metres, and the better draw may swing things in favour of Kitchikel. And then you've got Berenberg. Lucinda Woodruff had 2 winners on Derby Day. This Son of Erupt is a model of consistency, never runs a bad race, and he tackles the 1,400 metres again and could go well. But my top choice here would be number 3, Kitchikel.
3 Kitchikel for Graham, and this is going to be the horse that I'm going to suggest on this show to follow when he comes to KZN for the champion season. Yep, he will be on the float, King Regent, number 1, Glenn Cotson's runner. And, when I saw them dropping him in distance, I don't know what was going on there, but 1,400 meters, maybe his class could prevail. But I agree with Graham, for him to give, 7.5 plus 1, 8.5 kgs to a horse like Kitchikel over a distance that Kitchikel would prefer rather than King Regent. He's looking for further. Graham could be spot on there. So 1 and 3, we're going to go in the place accumulator. Then race number 8, closing things off. So far, our place accumulator is looking good, Graham. If we're going, hopefully we can double up in the last. This is over 1,200 meters. Number 1, Rafif's Choice, 4-1. 2 at 8-1. We move along to 9 at 7-1. 10 at 4-1. And number 12 at 6-1. Help us out here, Graham. How can we narrow this down? This looks exceptionally hard.
Most difficult race on the card. Obviously, not much to choose between Rafif's Choice and Touch of Grace on the evidence of their last run. Behind them was Double Dream. Double Dream disappointed me on that day. That was on Met Day. I'm expecting better from Double Dream. But they have been running towards the inside down the straight at Hollywoodbets Kenilworth recently, so perhaps the 14 draw is not in Double Dream's favour, and the 1 draw is in the favour of Rafif's Choice. So with not much confidence, I'm going to make number 1 Rafif's Choice, who's the early week favourite at around 4-1, my top choice in the market. But it is the most difficult race in the card. You need to go wide. My second choice would be number 14, Double Dream, and my third choice would be number 10, Touch of Grace. But you can't discount the chances of many in this race. We were all looking for some improvement from Pork de Va last time, and it never came. But it's interesting that Keegan de Mello takes the ride again, and the blinkers come off. So maybe he felt something on number 9, Pork de Va, last time, and recommended to Mike Stewart to take the blinkers off. Both Rahil and I were on Pork de Va last time out, and he was back from 12, or she was backed from 12-1 to 8-1. So maybe worth another chance as far as trifectas and quartets are concerned. But my top 2 choices would be 1 Rafif's Choice and 14 Double Dream in a very, very tough race.
Can't give you 2 here, Graham. I know you like 2 horses, but you're only allowed 1. Which one are you choosing between 1 and 14?
Rafif's Choice.
Okay, so that is going to be number 1 for Graham, and I'm going for the horse that's going for 3 on the bounce, number 10, Touch of Grace, because, the form is there. Took some time to win the maiden. Post-maiden, you expected the horse to be 25-1, wins again. And this time, they've engaged Elder Dameo to get the hat-trick. So we're going to go 1 and 10 there. I'll multiply this out. 2 times 2 is 4, 4 times 2 is 8, 8 times 2 is 16, times 2 is 32. It costs us 64 Rand. Graham, I'm going to read out this place accumulator that we'll call it the joint PA for Gallop TV. 2 and 7, by 9, by 1 and 3, by 3 and 6, by 2 and 8, by 1 and 3, by 1 and 10. Graham, I think, just looking at the way we've analyzed the card and what you've suggested in the respective races, there could be some form results along the way, but in a few races, you could get the upsets that you're looking for.
Yeah, look, there are some races that would appear that you could go narrower, but there are 1 or 2 very tough races at the weights where many with chances. So it's a very interesting card. It's a challenging card, but it could be a very rewarding card.
Thanks a lot to Graham Hawkins for always, being the assistance when it comes to racing from Hollywoodbets Kenilworth and Hollywoodbets Durbanville, and from the entire team at Gallop TV, Graham Hawkins and myself, Dees Dana. Well, hopefully it turns out to be a wonderful day for you on the 1st of March, a new month and the start of the second half of the new season. Find all the winners, make a huge profit, and until we meet again, you take care. Salani Gashle.